Hi, welcome to Real Estate by Design. My name is Jacqueline Grisé with Keller Williams Co-Elevation.
And I'm Sarah Horrocks, owner of Graywood Desigs.
We are very excited to be here with you today to talk about easy curb appeal. We're going to focus for the next, well, hopefully 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how much Sarah and I talk. We tend to get away from ourselves when we're chatting. What we're really trying to do is to share with you some easy and affordable ways to increase the value of your home through really good design choices.
And make it look great.
Oh yeah, that too. Probably most importantly, that too. So that you love living there just as much as everyone loves looking at it. We're here in Sarah's beautiful home and just a testament to her incredible design skills. So if you're wondering what the backdrop is, we are being very safe.
Yes, we are.
And very,
with kids swimming in the pool.
Yep, that we can see. So if we look, that's the reason why. Anyhow, on with the show. Our first topic is using paint to transform the exterior of your home in really simple ways.
Yeah, and I've done this in a couple of flips that we've done. It was, in Little Italy area. We had a red brick, kind of very old, and we wanted to kind of update the look for kind of more of a modern look. So we painted the exterior, and it turned out it completely transformed the exterior of the house. And yeah, I always say paint, as long as you kind of have good bones and you can see, paint can change just about any space.
Yeah, I was actually a college pro painter in my early university. I owned a college pro franchise. It's probably my biggest failure of my entire life. But it was interesting to see the choices that people made with paint. And when they were really good ones, the house became completely new. And I really developed a love and appreciation for how much paint is a simple, cost-effective way of actually evoking massive changes in homes. And we're going to show you a couple before and after pictures too of some images that we found that we thought were really, really bring the point home.
And I think sometimes too, it can, you see a house from the street and you never really noticed it, and then you paint the exterior.
So true.
And all of a sudden you add some new things, and which we're going to talk about today. And all of a sudden you see that house on the street now, where you would have never noticed it before, but thought maybe it was a tear down.
Totally agree. It's a little bit like changing your hair color to the right shade for your hair, for your face, not for your hair. Or, when someone else says your makeup, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it could look that good. At least that's how I feel. Not someone else. Anyhow, okay, so let us show you some paint colors that we absolutely love. So I'm just going to do a quick share screen here. Forgive me. I've done a couple different tests on this, but I'm still not perfectly perfect. So
we're learning.
Yeah, we're loving it. So here we go. All right, easy curb appeal. I'm pretty sure it's running properly. Oh, there we go. I figured it out. Okay.
So these are some of the colors that I think look really nice. They're kind of a neutral hue that you're going to choose. You can always go with the basic black if you want to you want a real dramatic kind of effect. But these are kind of my 5 colors that I think help to blend in with, depending where you live, the street, but they're a really good neutral hue. So
they go with everything.
They do go with everything. Gray mist is one of my favorites. So anyone who knows me, I actually love gray mist in an interior of a house as well. It's by Benjamin Moore. It's a great kind of neutral gray. It's got a little bit of beige, a little bit of gray. It's just
so pretty.
Yeah, it's just a really nice tone. If you want more of a darker color, Keystone Gray by Keller Williams. It's a great, it's kind of in between. It's the darkest of them all, but it's a pretty good color. I've seen it done on a house. Creamy, which is what I used on the flip that I did a few years back. We used creamy, and it turned out stunning. Gateway Gray, it's kind of in between that gray mist, Keystone Gray, and then Himalayan Trek. It's another really, really it's a really, really nice color. Now, the key is, I always tell people when they're choosing an exterior color, do not put the paint chip inside your home.
Right, because it's not going inside your home.
It's not going inside your home.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, just Take your paint chip. It's always better to get a big paint chip, or you can even buy the little sample size paint kind of, well, we don't want to paint plywood since it's $1 gazillion, but
I heard it's coming down though.
yes, it is coming down. I saw that today. But you want to paint something Bristol board, maybe an old piece of something wood at your house, and leave it outside. Look at it at all the different times of the day, during the day, sunlight, rainy day. But my number one tip is don't look at it inside.
So true.
People do that, right?
Yeah.
And then they wonder why the color looks so different.
Yeah. Well, I'm the person that goes and actually paints like a full window, and then you've got this terrible looking, color. Not terrible. If you've chosen well, it won't be terrible. But then you've got this one window, and then you have to do the rest. Well, I love the Bristol board suggestion. That's so smart.
Another thing I see a lot is that people paint the interior of their house, but they forget about the trim.
Yeah.
So there's all the trim around that's not done. You really notice it when you paint the house.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what I love about the colors that you've chosen here is they go beautifully together.
Yes.
So if you wanted to mix and match those, they would look absolutely gorgeous on almost any home.
And you can also do black if you wanted to paint the trim. You could do white. You could do, there's 100 million different types of white. So they go well with all of those types of tones. So that's why those are kind of my go-to for exterior paint.
Yeah. And if you're not looking for a traditional black door, which has become the most popular color door in the last little while, this would look gorgeous with a deep blue.
Yeah.
That gray blue and that
navy.
And then the reds too, because lots of people love a red front door.
Yes.
It's never my favorite, but they can look great on some houses. Just not mine.
Yeah. I think, when it comes to painting doors, different colors, you need to be really sure. Again, do the tester, especially, I've seen really cool kind of pink doors, teal blue doors, but you have to make sure it's the right color, because a pink door can look great, but if it's the wrong color pink,
right,
it can throw the whole look of the house off. People drive by and say, I don't think that was the right pink. I'm more of the traditional, my type of style black door, but I do like the colors as well. You just have to choose the paint chip outside.
Right. Great advice. All right. Well, let's take a look at some before and afters. We love this transformation. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with painting brick.
Nothing.
And lots of people shy far, far away from it, but it has the power to completely make your home look brand new.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of that.
I mean, this even looks bigger. If you look at, I believe this is it's sort of hard to see in the picture, but I believe it's kind of like a porch area or a porch swing or a covered kind of area. I thought it was a car park at some point.
Yeah.
But it completely makes this house look actually wider than it is.
Yeah.
It completely transforms it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't see the exterior lights before, and now
they pop.
And
they look like a design feature rather than an oversight.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love it.
Love it too.
All right. This one.
I love a blue house.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. It's very
nautical.
Yeah. And I think
cozy.
You would look at this original picture and think, okay, this is not everyone is in the position to be able to tear down a house, if it's your first home or, whatever your situation may be. Sometimes just painting it, adding a few things, painting trim, entryway, decorating it a little bit, decorating it with intention and not just throwing a few things on there. I mean, all those things make this it doesn't even look like the same.
Totally agree. Yeah. And this is the type of house too, where I think the red door actually makes more sense than another color.
For sure. I mean, you could do black
here. Yeah. No,
it's beautiful.
That's beautiful. All right. So this one is another one. This one makes my heart sing. I'm a massive fan of black and white. Yeah. I think it's traditional. I think it's timeless. You can't go wrong. And again, this one they did replace some doors. Let's be fair.
Yes.
That it's not just paint that's helped this.
No, but they didn't have to tear down the whole house.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we know what building costs are at the moment, and they're quite expensive. So, I mean, replacing windows, replacing doors, simple things, but keeping your kind of main structure. I mean, you're saving so much money there.
So much money.
sometimes if you have the budget to do a little bit more, changing windows, changing roof, the shingles, all those kind of things. All of the eaves troughs, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little more costly, but you're not tearing down the whole building. Right. And this updates the house, transforms it. I mean, the lighting, it's the chandelier, like it's stunning.
So beautiful.
Beautiful.
So here's one that we both really love too.
I love bungalows.
Yeah, I do.
Even though I don't live in one.
I've got a soft spot for them too. And what I think I love the most about this is how much more inviting this house looks, just from a paint job with contrasting window trim.
And Jacqueline, look, you can see the numbers.
You can see the numbers. Oh my gosh.
Jacqueline's pet peeves.
We had this massive discussion about how it's so frustrating to me, especially when I'm taking clients to go see houses, when you can't see the number.
Or dropping off kids at,
But we both think this one is a beautiful transformation.
Yeah,
and just goes to show how easy it is to make a house look completely fresh and new. So
even things like the landscaping,
get into landscaping.
Yeah,
we'll get into landscaping. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that I'm not as good at this as I would like to.
We're learning. We're learning.
Absolutely. So the next thing we want to talk about is front doors and hardware, and how. I mean, I love painting front doors. I think it's probably like if you want to do one thing this summer, actually maybe two. Yeah, and you want to do one thing, the front door.
Yes, and even if you have an old wood door, like certain doors, if you have like a beautiful wood door, the thing with wood doors, depending on where you're facing, if you have like northern exposure, southern exposure, sometimes the doors can take a beating. So in this house here, I have a southern exposure. So that door is going to take a beating over time with weather, whatever. Wood doors, you can always stain them. You can always call companies, most people spent a lot on a wood door. So you can always get them, before they get too bad, you can always get them restained, and you can get beautiful black stain.
Yeah.
And they make your door look brand new. So sometimes it's not always paint. You can do the stain as well.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because
it's hard to get,
you don't have to do just one.
It's hard to paint a mahogany door.
No, it's terribly hard. You're absolutely right. And you probably wouldn't want to, because that's really
beautiful. Yeah, but they have beautiful black stains now.
Yeah.
You don't have to go with the traditional brown,
cedar,
yes,
or
brown,
that
right?
Mucky reddy brown.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that, and we want to talk about door hardware.
Door hardware.
I do too.
Like jewelry.
That's great. Yes, it's like jewelry. I implore you, if you have one of those 1980s brass colored rounded door handles, go to the hardware store, go to Home Depot. They've got some great choices now.
Yeah.
Lona is great. Lowe's is great.
Starting Gluckstein is now being carried.
Amazing. And just do that even before you paint your door, to see how much of a difference that makes to the front door. Huge difference. Yeah. So let's take a look at those. My awesome sharing skills.
I'm going to look at my kids outside swimming.
Yeah, good idea. Safe and sound.
All those swimming lessons.
Yeah, exactly.
Private swimming lessons during COVID.
So here's a couple examples of door hardware that Sarah grabbed quickly, just to give you a quick look at an easy update. This would be beautiful on a traditional and a modern house, which I love. I love
for sure.
It's easy,
and I do love the plated ones. I love how it's not just the handle on the door. I love the sleek. You generally, from any company, can choose between black, satin brass, chrome. I wouldn't do chrome, but yeah, there's so many different choices. You can almost get any color you want from most hardware companies.
Yeah, no, and it's so great to have all those choices.
Yeah.
I love this.
I love this.
Yeah,
and I do love the old school kind of mail
slots.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I even love the kind of nautical inspired lighting. Yeah, this is a great, and And this is probably a black stain door.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell from a picture, of course, but I think you're right. Now, interesting point of fact, the most searched for front door color for homes was black in the last year or two. And a black door, if it's already on your house, like a flag. No, but it's not like a flag. And a black door will actually get you more money for your home, because when people walk up to it, they go, oh, I don't have to do that. Yeah. Right. It's just work that's already been done. And it takes literally half an hour to paint your door.
And I think too, this year has shown everybody how much they've actually been in their homes and how much they've appreciated their homes. And, you know, hence all everything that's going on and people renovating, doing kitchens. Yeah, I think anything that, you know, it's the first point of entrance to your home and what people see. So it's a big deal, right?
And I don't know about you, but I love coming up to my house and looking and go, oh, this makes me so happy. I'm so happy to be home.
Yeah.
Right.
I do too.
When you love the way it looks, it just makes that feeling so much stronger. Sure. And it's like the stress of the day just sort of releases. Yeah. And you get to walk through the beautiful front door and just enter your bubble of, you know,
especially since we've been spending so much time at home with everybody, right? With your whole family. So
yeah, absolutely. You have to love when you come home. Okay. Now this door makes my heart sing too. I love the proportions of this door.
Me too.
I think it's amazing that in a non-traditional way, they've made the smallest boxes trim outline. Beautiful. What's the right word for that? The trim around the door, the paneling.
The paneling. Yes, the paneling. Yeah, it's really different type of paneling.
It is. And I like the fact that they've chosen a silver toned door handle. On this one, I think with the red brick and the white trim on the windows.
Beautiful.
It's a really pretty and elegant entryway.
It is.
All right. So here's an example of how a very simple change completely makes a door look different.
Yes.
We love how modern the after looks. And this is like a rubbed brass.
Yes. Like a bronze almost.
Thank you.
Yes.
I knew that color was on. A rubbed bronze, and it's just
and they haven't changed the door. They've just they've just added some stain to it.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. So the door itself looks like it's been cleaned up with, it's just so pretty. And so it doesn't have to be all one piece. You can have hardware that's different pieces.
For sure. I mean, there's so many different options now. I think you just have to have the right person install it and know what they're doing. Unless you're super handy, I would not suggest doing it on your own, because you could ruin a very expensive door.
Yeah, that's fair. And you kind of want your front door to be secure. So you
For
want
sure.
it to be done properly. Yeah. So we talked a little bit about lights, but let's talk about them some more.
Yeah. Exterior lights can completely change the look of your home. Especially too, things that you can do that maybe aren't as cost effective is kind of down lighting, up lighting. I mean, people are out at night now, people are walking around. I think more than ever, we're seeing people adding up lighting. I mean, you didn't used to see that as much anymore. Now you see it a lot more.
The only time I'd ever see up lighting was for Christmas.
Yes.
Or maybe Halloween. Yes. But now people are adding it to their homes to give them.
And to their landscaping in the backs, to all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
But I think it's a little more costly, but things like adding downlighting around your house, those things, yes, it's, not the cheapest, curb appeal
option.
For sure.
No, it does for sure.
Right.
And a lot of buyers, if you are thinking of selling your home, a lot of buyers will actually drive by your house before they come at night just to see. And you want your home to sparkle no matter what time of day it is. And before, with those very traditional lights around your front door, your home is just like this big black mass, and they don't really have an idea of what it looks like. So updating your lighting, if you can, is a great way to make your house pretty no matter what time of day someone goes by.
For sure. And, if you're on more of a budget, friendly, you need to be a little more budget friendly. Another great thing you can do is the lighting that you do have, it does chip over time. It's usually black kind of metal, kind of just scrape off the area, and you can spray paint it. You can go to Walmart, Home Depot, any of those hardware stores, you take out the glass, take out the, kind of put tape around it, and you can spray it clean up the glass. You can put in an Edison style light bulb.
Great suggestion.
You've changed your lighting
Totally.
very, cost effectively.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Sure.
So sometimes it's just about the cleanup of it, the
Right.
cleanup of your home.
Just that little update to make it a little bit more modern.
Yeah,
for sure.
So,
do you have a favorite type of spray paint for those projects? I know I do.
no, I don't actually.
No,
because I would probably just buy a new light.
Okay, I've done a lot of it.
My husband is very handy, I will say. So, yes, tell me your.
My favorite is Rust-Oleum.
Okay.
By far. They have great products and they tend to be very long lasting. And they come in different finishes. You can get like a really high gloss, or you can get a softer.
More of a matte.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
very nice.
So it's nice
See,
to have
I
those
learned something today.
And they also have started to come out with more sort of metallic-y finishes.
Beautiful.
So you have a choice. It just doesn't have to be one of those.
So could you do a set for us, a gold, if you wanted?
No, I tested out their gold. Yes, their gold is actually quite good.
Okay.
It's brass. You have to go test it. You definitely want to do a test run.
For sure.
And here's the other thing. Do some testing if you're going to use spray paint on something you don't care about, because it takes some time to get used to the pressure on the valve so that you don't get all these drips on things.
That's why I don't do those things. But I do grab my bathroom.
Yes, I know. This woman is insane. She's amazing. Routed her own bathroom last night. I'm just so impressed. Okay, let's take a look at some more lights.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are stunning.
Yeah, very old school, but the new one's square. I loved all the exposed lighting outside. I love even the frosted. Yeah, and I do love Edison lighting. I think it looks really, the exposed lighting, I think it looks really beautiful.
I do. It's got so much character.
It does. It just, you look at the light and you say it's not just kind of a generic light.
Well, I think the part that I like about the Edison lights, the light bulbs themselves, is you get the design from the light and the shape.
For sure.
And then you get the bulb as well, adding an element of design to it as well.
Definitely. And you can get all the different, you can get a warm Edison light, a cool Edison light. Like they come in, not just, they come in all different types of
but make sure when you're replacing them that you get the same shade as the other ones.
Yes.
Light bulbs in two different shades.
They don't work well.
Don't work well.
I've seen it too.
Yes. No, it's a really important detail, because people, when they drive by your house or walk into your home and you've got different shades of light inside, it feels jarring, and sometimes you can't figure out why.
Are you a soft light or a bright light?
Great question. Depends on where.
In generally your house.
Light, bright. I love light.
Okay. I love light too, but I like the more softer, warmer light.
Yeah,
I do.
Okay. I like warmer.
Yes.
I do. I think I find the cool shades.
Yes,
they feel way too
institutional.
That's it.
Yeah,
institutional. So I like the warmer ones, but I like a high voltage, not voltage, wattage. I like high wattage. So lots of light, but warm light. Okay, next one.
I love these. Yeah, those are gorgeous.
Those are not the right term, I'm sure, but
yeah, they're beautiful. This is a more modern type of home.
Sure.
I wouldn't suggest on a super traditional home, but if you have a stucco home, you're updating it. It's more of a flatter type of surface. It definitely adds some dimension to the house.
Agreed. And the nice thing about this on a flat surface too is you're getting the full range of the light.
Yeah.
Up and
down. It's beautiful.
So if you've got a textured wall, if you've got stone, or if you've got other things.
Yeah, I know there
lose some of it.
Yeah, I believe there is some lighting where it can just do, like, if you didn't want to spend the money on down lighting, I believe there is, I could be wrong. I believe there is some lighting that just goes up, like you can switch it from up to down.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
we'll have to look into that. Yeah. Okay, so we chose this picture to show you the before and after on the same garage. This is a very sort of 1970s type of brick. It is, it dates itself, and yet look at the difference between that traditional brass sconcy on the left-hand side and that clean modern one on the right.
Beautiful. And I would paint that garage door black.
I'm with you on that. Yeah. I would do a whole lot of painting, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think if you painted that black and you left, the brick is that kind of exposed type of brick. I think it would really,
it would update it instantly. Yeah, no, I
for
completely
sure.
agree.
Yeah.
I think the blue, it would be interesting to see what the black garage door did to the rest of the house.
Yes.
And so that's the other thing. If you're going to start projects, start ones that you can see if you'd like to go farther, rather than like
Exactly.
do your garage door first. Oh no, actually, do your front door first.
Exactly. And finish the project.
Yes.
Do one thing, start.
Yeah.
Give yourself a day or two. Don't try to tackle all of them at
Right.
the same time, because it can feel very overwhelming. You sent this to me.
I did.
via text.
I texted this to Sarah actually last weekend. I was out, and we've been, of course, talking a lot about putting this together and sharing our input. And so this, like, literally is not a Halloween lighting schema. That's not the right word.
Scheme.
Thank
Yes.
you. Wrong words come out all good. It's what 45 does to you. And 3 kids.
I'm almost there.
Yeah.
2 months.
Wow. Actually, it's better than the other ages. Anyway,
It is.
sorry. I'm okay. I want to give these people the benefit of the doubt. And I don't like judging people's choices. I respect that everybody has different
sure.
design preferences. And it's okay that they're not the same as mine.
Exactly.
I'm confused, however, by this. So it's my confusion that I'm sharing with you, not judgment in any way, shape, or form. So there's 2 different colors of lights on this house that are by the front door. One is like pinky orange and the other one's a purple. I wouldn't recommend doing this.
No, I would just do white.
Yeah.
I would just do white light. Yeah. I thought when Jacqueline sent it to me, maybe she liked it.
No.
I was joking around.
No.
But yeah, stick with the same color. Again, I'm not judging if you like purple, but do all purple.
Right.
You
Totally.
like pink? Do all pink.
Right.
But just remember not to mix the colors.
If you want to have colorful lights outside your house, please just pick one color. It creates cohesiveness, which is always
For sure.
an important element of design.
Exactly.
All right, now we're going to talk about decorating your entryway. So exciting. So Sarah and I both love this topic a whole lot, because it's basically interior design that you bring to the outside, right?
Yeah, and I think anyone can do this.
Yes.
Now we finally have HomeSense open.
Yes.
I refuse to
We
wait.
can go into
in the
stores.
line. Yeah,
I refuse to let us do.
Yeah, I've refused, but it's little things, front door mat that you've had for 4 years, 5 years. They start to look beat up. People go through them. Change them. Very simple, easy things to do, cost effective.
Yeah.
Change your doormat.
Totally.
Adding lanterns. You don't have to spend $500 at Pottery Barn to buy a lantern outside your house. You can go to HomeSense to buy a lantern. Everywhere has lanterns now. And it's also a nice little way at night. You can order from Amazon or wherever, the little candles on the timers that go in. Little things like that. Adding seasonal wreaths, like don't keep your Christmas wreath up in May. No. Little things like that, right?
And if you don't have the storage space for wreaths or whatnot, and
don't get a wreath.
That's okay. You don't need to have one. Or just save the space for the one season that you really love.
For sure.
Instead of trying to.
You don't necessarily need them. And, another thing too is adding at Christmas time, because I do have a newer door and I don't want to put anything on it at the moment or put a hook. I put wreaths on my windows.
Which is such a great idea. And it's so pretty.
It is so pretty. And, I've noticed that other people are starting to do it now. It's just a different way to decorate it. You don't need to do the traditional things like putting a wreath on your door. You can put them on your windows, doing planters at the front. You can buy the inserts and put them in. You don't necessarily have to do them yourself. There's many different cost-effective ways to do planters and have them look nice. When you put a chair at the front, make sure that the scale, you don't want this ginormous chair. If you have a bigger porch or whatever, make sure that the scale works for your area.
Right.
That's a big thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
my preference is, unless you have a big front porch,
no, unless it's lawn. No, you're not.
So if you want that like design element, make sure that you have the space for it.
For sure. That's what I mean. Just don't put a chair where it has like
So you're trying to just shimmy around.
Yeah, like design intention. You know, what is this space for? Yeah,
Right.
I'd like to sit at my front porch, but I don't have enough space.
Absolutely.
So I just don't, right?
Yeah.
So,
And one of the things I love doing too is when you set something up in your front area, actually anywhere, is I go take a picture of it
and step back.
and then take a look
sure.
at the picture so I can be a little more objective. Because sometimes when you're doing things and you know, the idea in your head, you just want to get it out into real life. You don't have the ability to stop and go, that doesn't look quite right.
Yeah. Or text it to somebody, you know, who's going to tell you the truth.
Totally.
I always text it to people I know, like, you know, I feel like I have pretty good design choices. Does this look okay? Because you can really love something, but it doesn't necessarily go. But you love the piece that it is, or you see it and you want to make it work because you love
because
that
you love it.
Because you love it, but it actually doesn't work. So I always see if I'm not sure about something, your gut's usually right. Then it's probably not right.
And remember too, that you don't have to use it there. If you really, really, really love it, you can use it somewhere else. There's always going to be space for something you love in your home. It just might not be in that space.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a look at. Okay, so this one we chose simply because it shows you how couple changes to your entryway can make a massive difference. So in the after, we've got new hardware, including a door knocker. Actually, it looks like a whole new door, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Yeah. The potted plant, the mat, they've changed the number and
taken off the screen.
Big difference.
Yes, lighting.
Oh yeah.
Mailbox, numbers.
Everything.
Yes.
And this one doesn't look like it's got a ton of space. So a simple entryway with really good design choices makes a massive difference.
It sure does. Yeah, that looks like a totally different space.
Yeah, and a totally different house.
And cost effective.
Yeah, right. This is a really cost effective.
But do you see too?
Yeah. Yes, exactly what you were saying. Yeah.
Don't neglect the trim.
Don't neglect the trim. House numbers.
Yes. I don't like I don't like when you can't see house numbers.
We talked about that a little bit. Yeah, it makes me crazy. What's the point of having them if you can't see them from the street?
Yeah, and I think, you know, I never really noticed it till I had kids.
Oh, interesting.
Like, because then you were going to somebody's house and you didn't necessarily know where they live. Like, I really never noticed it until then. And they need to be something you can see at night. For sure. So I love this, the fact that it's like they're silver, so they're going to show up a little better when you come around at night. Yeah, and they're just updated. They are updated. Yeah. And we really love this one too. Yeah, I love it. See, the wreath is in a different spot. It is, and it's so pretty there. And I wouldn't traditionally, you know, when you see the red lighting outside, but it like you have to look at your space and know it's going to work. Most lighting you can bring back, but this looks like it's just so homey. Yeah, it's really so cute. Inviting. It's very inviting. Cute. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, in a very traditional home, you know, with sort of that light lemony yellow siding color. Yeah. But the red lights, it just updates it, taking the screen off. Yeah, taking the screen off. Keep screens on your back door, because that's really the only door you're going to keep open anyways. Yeah. You don't need them on the front door. No one's keeping their front. No one's keeping their front doors open anymore. No one. Love this. Oh, I love center hall. My home is a center hall design. I love center hall design. Homes. So this is beautiful. What I love about this, because we're talking about entry, numbers, house numbers. Oh my gosh. Is that it's on the post, the pillar outside, rather than on the front of the face of the house. Yeah, and the house is set back, right? So it would probably be pretty hard to see. Really hard to see. Yes. And this makes it really easy from the outside. And it's a really pretty design element that balances out that mailbox on the other side. For sure. Gives a balance. Right. Yeah. Which is always an important thing to consider. So we love this. And I think it's really important too to talk sort of quickly about the pathways that lead up to houses and how making good choices on your pathways can change the look of your house as well. And it doesn't have to be super expensive. No. So sometimes it's easy as cleaning up the edges. Right. Or adding gardens along the side, like a very sort of structured, streamlined garden. For sure. It doesn't have to be hard, but it makes a big difference. Huge difference. All right. So
just a quick little, like, for information purposes, your numbers should be larger depending on how far away your house is from the street or from where someone's going to see them. This is just a rough guide, but keep in mind that size matters in this case.
Yes, for numbers.
For numbers. Okay, so the last part of what the last couple things we wanted to talk about, tidying up landscaping.
Yes.
This
is a big thing for me, especially if you're, you just want that curb appeal. It's summertime now. People are outside walking, you're outside. We're not inside as much. There's little things you can do with landscaping with your outside. Power washing. You can rent a power washer if you don't own a power washer. Cleaning up the stone, cleaning up, sometimes it's, if you have siding or the brick or whatever it is, sometimes power washing can make a huge deal.
Yeah. Getting the little plants, the little green stuff out of the house.
Yeah. And you can always add your own polymeric sand yourself, right? Clean it
out.
The
what?
The polymeric sand. The sand that goes in between the stones. Eventually over time that, the weeds start coming up. Spray it with your weed. You buy this polymeric sand at Home Depot, you kind of put it in, sweep it around, and it makes a huge difference, right? And, that stuff isn't that expensive.
No.
It's time consuming to do it. But those things make it, those things make a huge difference. Edging your gardens.
Oh my gosh. We please start edging our gardens.
Yes.
So what do we mean by edging? Because you might be wondering. It's taking a straight edge, and you can actually buy these at Home Depot. They are on a stick like a shovel, but they're round. Yes, they've got rounded tops, so you can step on it, and then a flat bottom. And what it allows you to do is go around the outside edge of any kind of garden that you've got, or even the edge of your grass, to be honest. And it creates this really beautiful, clean line. And the difference between a house that looks like it's got a landscaper that comes and does work on it versus one that it looks like, Joe Schmo homeowners doing it, is edging. It's a massive, it transforms landscaping.
Yes. And I love black mulch. Jacqueline, not her favorite. But I do. There's something about, it doesn't look good everywhere, but there's something about a little bit of black mulch, not red mulch.
Not red mulch. Please, no more red mulch.
No more.
It looks really nice.
And there's no point to the
absolutely
mulching.
And it's something you're going to have to do each year.
Yes.
It will need to get
maintenance
up.
for sure.
For sure. But it's the difference between having,
it's intentional.
It's intentional.
And you know how it's really beautiful to see your greenery pop. You've done all this work on the garden.
Yeah,
you want it to look
flowers.
good. And having the black mulch underneath creates a backdrop so that your plants look more beautiful.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, I've had a couple gardens where I didn't do the black mulch. And when it gets dry, like the dirt looks dry.
It does. That's why I like mulch.
And it's like cover up, like foundation for your
concealer.
It's concealer. It's concealer for your gardens. And it's a fantastic, easy way to make your gardens
just
look beautiful.
General maintenance really goes a long way.
Yeah, it really
does.
And it doesn't have to take a lot of time or a lot of effort. So we really encourage you to do that if you've got, the desire. Oh, and it's great exercise. This is actually a picture that I took on my walk. This is on my street. Okay. And again, not judging or criticizing, but imagine how much more beautiful this house would look with edged gardens and some black mulch. Like that's and some grass seed for sure. I think it's because that tree,
I'm sure,
got a lot of shade under it.
Yeah.
But whenever I walk my properties like that, my first thought is, oh my gosh, in half an hour and maybe $100
for sure,
you could have an entirely new look to the front of your house.
Exactly.
So if you're thinking of selling and you don't want to invest in a landscaper,
beautiful hostas,
gorgeous plants, and those are perennials. They come back every year.
Yeah,
they're a great plant to have in there because they're low maintenance. And for a prospective buyer, it's they look at those plants and go, oh, that's awesome. I don't have to worry about planting.
Exactly.
And then once you've got the other stuff done, it elevates it to a whole level.
I totally agree.
All right.
Yeah. Huge difference.
Huge difference. They've done some of the stuff we talked about in terms of painting.
For sure.
They've changed the front door color. They've painted out the trim on the windows.
Yes.
But you know, same roof, same porch. It's
Same
that's not,
siding.
same siding.
Yeah.
It's not terribly different.
No.
And yet that front walkway that's been cleaned up,
Yep.
and it's exactly what you were talking about, get all that stuff out from between the cracks.
Yes.
Get the sand.
Polymeric sand.
The polymeric sand.
Yeah.
And create some gardens with some black mulch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Looks like a totally different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we recognize that this is pre-construction in terms of the landscaping on this one, but we wanted to show you the difference that using the natural curves of things and creating gardens out of, you know, the space you've got,
Exactly.
and adding some grass.
And it doesn't have to be complicated gardens, right?
No,
Right?
I actually think the simpler the better.
Yeah, I'm a green and white person. So for
Yeah.
my gardens, it's all boxwood,
Yeah,
which,
I love them.
yeah, love boxwood.
And ferns. I love ferns.
Yeah.
And hydrangeas. They
Love
come back every
hydrangeas.
year. They last a long time. They look green before they bloom. Like they're just
Yeah.
beautiful. There's something to be said too for green and white. I love just green and white landscaping.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's
So-
very visually,
Appealing.
it is appealing.
It is.
And it looks clean
Yeah.
all the time.
It does. I love it. It's my favorite.
So again,
Not a big change in terms of the work on the porch. Like they clearly put a new coat of paint on there.
Yep.
But the addition of the stone walkway and then building out those flower beds just makes it so pretty. and
Yeah.
inviting.
It does. It looks so much better.
Okay. This is another picture from one of my walks.
Landscaping.
So you can over landscape.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this family loves the way this looks.
It's just a lot of work. This is a lot of maintenance.
And if we're talking the value of your home, because that's part of this too.
Mhm.
When people come up to this house, if it goes up for sale, they're going to look at it and go, oh my gosh, I need to tear all that out.
Yeah.
So that's something to be aware of, that just because you love it, it doesn't mean that other people are going to love it. And you need to be okay with the fact that some of your design choices may actually cost you money.
Yeah. And they're not everyone's cup of tea.
They're not everyone's cup of tea. And it's okay if you love it and that's how you want it, but be just very aware that it might end up being a little bit of a deterrent for a potential buyer in the future.
now, if you're going to be there for 50 years and you don't care, then we don't care.
We don't care either.
Yeah. But if we're talking about good choices that increase the value of your home, don't over landscape.
No.
It doesn't do you any favors. It costs a lot of money and you're never going to see it back again. And I
No.
think that's really
I
important
think
too.
that is key, right? That is key.
Yeah.
100%.
All right.
Oh, my favorite, driveway ceiling.
Last one.
Yeah, driveway ceiling.
This is super easy, by
It's
the way.
super easy. Sometimes in certain cases you do need a driveway, but
You mean repaved?
repaved.
Yeah.
Yes, repaved. But driveway sealing is a great way to, over time, if you have a driveway that is pavement, it does fade over time, but driveway sealing is a quick and easy way. I would suggest hiring a company. They come, they do it.
We did it ourselves 2 summers ago.
Okay. Did you?
It was totally fine.
Okay. It took a ton more of the driveway.
Sealant painty stuff
Than
than we
basic.
anticipated,
Yes.
but the before and after was unbelievable.
Yeah, it just makes a huge difference. Driveway
Huge.
sealing. Yeah.
Huge.
It just all of a
It's like
sudden,
putting your mascara on.
yeah, like it's just one of those things like power washing. Yes. It's just one of those things that quick, easy, affordable, and definitely raises the value of your home. For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, no, if you're thinking of selling, we highly recommend that you do your driveway before you list.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
huge
we
difference.
just one picture for you guys on this one. Look at the difference.
Yeah, it's crazy. It goes into the cracks. It just, yeah.
It looks so much better.
Clean. It's one less thing to worry about. I mean,
And especially living in Canada, we have the 4 seasons, so driveways don't,
they
have a paved driveway. They don't stand the test of time.
No,
that's for
they
sure.
don't. And as much as I love when people do that beautiful stonework in their driveway.
But that has its own issues too.
It totally does. It's super expensive though.
Yes.
And you can't do this easily to it.
No.
So in terms of the longevity of it or your ability to make it fresh and new again, this is the simplest way to do that.
For sure.
So that is it for us for today. I hope you
Yay.
enjoyed our
Our first of many
Our
series.
first of many. Sarah and I could talk for hours. I don't know if you've noticed that.
We like to
but-
talk.
No, maybe just a little bit. But we really hope that you enjoyed it. And if you have ideas for future episodes,
Yeah, please reach out. Or questions, reach out to
Questions.
either of us. We're both on
Absolutely.
Instagram
Yeah.
And have websites. So any questions, just don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd love to answer them.
yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Jacqueline Grisé Real Estate, and Sarah.
I'm at Graywood Designs, and my website is www.graywoodddesigns.ca.
Oh yeah, mine's JacquelineGrisé.com. Super simple.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, episode 2.
Episode 2.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. See you soon.